Hello.
Hello.
It's another meeting,
Um, yeah, yeah.
and we're here to talk about more news shenanigans that happened. I'm gonna try and refrain from ranting about traffic once again. Emphasis on try. But yeah. So what do we want to start with?
um, well, um, I had something in my mind and now it slipped. Right, okay, there is something. I don't want to talk about it, but I feel like we should talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it.
What would the subject be?
It's a stop killing games thing, but it annoys me.
Hmm.
So the situation is that I forget his name, but the creator and the head of it, I guess, right? The spokesperson, I don't know. You know the guy. He reached out on, I think it was on Twitter, to a bunch of like important video or yeah, important people from the gaming industry, right?
Yeah.
And this included Notch, to the creator of Minecraft, and he reached out to be like, hey, you want to collab on this? Because they all support it, right?
Yeah.
And apparently, some people don't like Notch. I don't really know the situation. All I know about Notch is that he created Minecraft,
He
but
created
uh,
Minecraft and I think had a couple of said a couple of things not a lot of
yeah,
people
it
liked.
was something about people saying him being racist or something. But I don't know
Yeah.
what he said, so I won't comment on that because I don't know what he said. But even if he said some stuff, here's the thing. That has nothing to do. So the thing is now that people don't like that, and they're literally saying like, "Oh, we're gonna stop supporting stop killing games," because they're teaming up with him and with like some other guy, and I'm just like, look, even if that's how you think of Notch, even if that's true, which I don't know if it is because I haven't seen this. But even if you think that's true, that has nothing to do with stop killing games. That's a completely separate problem. Because this goes like beyond politics like that.
Yeah.
Like this is grander than that. Do you have issues with him? Then I don't care. Just save it for later or something. If like just right now with that movement, which is very important for you know the customer, for the players, and also for the industry itself.
The entire
It's
gaming
important that
industry.
this, yeah, because that's the dumb thing. I genuinely think even the bigger game corporations would just benefit from this. Um, like if we're gonna like have infighting now, then shit is not gonna happen, and it's not gonna get better.
Then gaming companies, or at least the studios, will see a little change. Like they will see the infighting, grab any chance to try and dismantle the entire movement. Because if they do, then it can continue making live service games, which will immediately fall apart as soon as they stop getting support. Or you get more seasonal passes, paid
Well,
stuff.
that's not a problem. The problem is once they stop doing that.
Yeah, but if Stop Killing Games falls apart, then it is basically a clear indication that the studios can do whatever they want. Then they know they have free reign because, the community fights too much to actually have an effect.
Yeah, but also we're trying to convince politicians here. What do you think they'll say if we're gonna start fucking infighting?
They will stop. They'll be like, oh, this is ineffective. They don't know what they want. They're not clear. Everything falls apart.
So right now it's just like we just need all the help we can get, man. Like you have problems with him. If he is actually a racist, then yeah, that is a problem. But that is a problem on a separate level.
That is a problem for later. That's a problem for futures. Also, speaking of gaming industry going to shit, GTA 6
Oh,
is reportedly,
yeah, they're gonna delay the PC launch, I heard.
yeah, but you might have to pay for it multiple times.
What? In what sense? Like this is like a subscription?
I'm not sure, but like, probably it's probably gonna be like, oh, you want access to maybe some like online stuff, or like, sure, you could play the very basics of the game. Like, at least it's what I hope it's gonna be. That would be best case scenario, where it's just like, oh yeah, you can just. Best case scenario would be you have to pay a certain amount at like each couple of months or something to actually, get all the fancy stuff. So buying a one-time premium for the rewards would be buying it multiple times. Worst case scenario, you only get the basics of the game with your first purchase, and you keep having to pay if you want to have like the full game online and stuff, just like with PlayStation, or should I say PlayStation, which now also PlayStation also requires you to connect your device to the internet every 30 days, or else you lose access to your purchased games.
Yes. I think that does only apply to online games, though. No, or not online games, but like games you purchased through the e-store.
Still.
Yeah, no, it's bullshit.
I'm not saying
it's not bullshit, but
I
think it doesn't apply if you have the disc.
Yeah, but you know the saying, if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't a crime.
Yeah.
I hate that it might be applicable so soon. And just like, if you buy something, it's supposed to be yours, like, you purchased it. If I buy a bread, just let's say I buy a baguette, I only have to buy it once. I won't have to buy it multiple times. Well, I probably will, but that will be because I used the baguette I just bought. I ate it. But it's not like, oh yeah, you're gonna, if you buy this baguette, you're gonna get half of it. And to get the other half, you have to pay us every hour, or else we'll take away your half, the second half of the baguette. That would be bullshit.
Yeah. Also, what if you live somewhere with no internet connection?
They have to buy digitally, or not digitally, have to buy physically, or else you'll be screwed. You'll be able to buy a game. And then every 30 days you have to take your PlayStation to the nearest place with Wi-Fi. Connect it to a little monitor at the place you're at. And, work it that way. And if there's no place nearby, then you're done. That's why buying the older stuff is actually more worth it right now, because you actually get it. And that's bad. Like an online purchase should mean it's yours. Like, yeah, you could still have support from wherever you bought it from. And if you have to pay for that a little bit, yeah. For example, like you buy a phone and something breaks, but it's under warranty, so you can get, or for some money you can get it fixed again. But it's only applicable to those kind of things. To a game, you can have a lot of fun with just buying a game, playing it for a bit, and then physically storing it somewhere. I am willing to buy an entirely new PC case if physical discs would return for PC.
You can just buy a.
Oh, I have one of those already. I should still watch Top Gear.
Like, I have a Blu-ray player for my PC. I don't know if you would be able to play games on that. Maybe.
I'm not sure. But having a PC case with a CD-ROM in there would just be incredible. The old technology still works. It's just that most of it is either not supported or so old that nothing works. Because people moved on, companies moved on, realized they have stuff that makes more money. So that's why I was so happy that I could actually fix my car today. Because at the day of recording, Tuesday, May the 12th, I drove to work, as usual. When I arrive at work, there's some glass, on the front of the building where you enter. And I basically drive straight at it for a little bit, so I often see my car. I'm like, alright, it looks good. But today I noticed my left headlight wasn't on. My right one was.
No, that's a problem.
Indeed. However, because I
it's
am
also illegal.
Yeah, but it was in this light enough situation where having your lights on is just as a precaution so people see you more. You could still see perfectly fine. But it's like, yeah, before I leave to go home, I have to fix that. So, me being somewhat smart at some point, decided, you know what I need? I already had a little bit of a set, but some spare bulbs. You can buy them as a set in a little box. You can buy it and you just put it in your trunk. So I did that a while ago, and it was like, all right, well, one headlight is out. Let me just go to the trunk, which is like not a long distance. My car's only like 3 meters long. It is incredibly short. So after shoving my bag into the car, opening the bonnet because that's where the headlights are, or at least that's where I can access them, I grabbed the light bulbs out of the boot, pulled a little tab away so I can get the plastic cover off, undid the plug, undid a little spring that kept the light bulb in place, pulled out the light bulb, looked at it, realized that one of the parts that is supposed to glow wasn't having contact anymore. Part of it just melted into a little blob. So it was pretty. It's always fun to see lights that have stopped working. Either they're completely black, like they fully burned, or it's just that one of the filament things snapped or melted away, and that's it. But I had a spare one, so I put the spare one in. Actually, I also did the other side just to be sure. Even though the one was still working, I'd rather replace them both at the same time. And 10 minutes later, my lights were working again. Both.
Okay.
In a modern car, you have to go to a shop, or usually it's a lease car, so you bring it back to the company that you're leasing it from, say, headlights fucked. Then they confirm by looking at it, yeah, headlights fucked. Come back to us at like a couple of days and your headlight is fixed again. They just probably replace the whole unit. Which I despise. I want my car to be able to work on it for like 10 minutes to get stuff working. But yeah. Speaking of car stuff, shall I talk about it right now, or do you want to talk about something, Jim? Before I go on an entire...
You said you were not going to.
I'm not going to talk about traffic, I'm going to talk about an event I went to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Tell me the picture Joran sent me is not real.
Who knows?
Okay, so for the people,
I can neither confirm or deny.
Joran went with you.
Yes.
But apparently he didn't actually see your car.
He knows what I know.
Sent me a picture that Jules sent to him of Jules' car, but pink.
Well, I guess I have to explain the entire situation. I went to EM Valhalla, which is an event for, well, it's basically a car meet for a really good organized one, by the way, for basically weird and wonderful cars. So, I went bright and early. We were actually, it started at 10. We didn't know that they opened the doors slightly earlier, so we had to wait a bit. Or at least we waited a bit on a little carpooling parking spot close to the event, where we saw a couple of cars drive by. Some nice K cars. There were a lot of K cars, actually. At least I've never seen such a big, or I want to say big collection. K cars are tiny. They're smaller than my Twingo. So they are tiny. Yeah, we eventually, after 10 minutes, we drove there, parked, and basically spent the day walking around. It is a fun event to go to. I would definitely recommend, especially if you have a bit of a weird or older car, like a Twingo, first generation. I saw an off-road one as well, a white off-road Twingo. I'm not sure I want to do it white because white shows dirt quite well. But it was, we were there from 10 to like 2, so for 4 hours. And I did basically walk around, we did walk around a lot. The museum there was also open. A lot of Toyotas, basically only pretty much, if you go to the, from one hall, there's just only Toyota stuff. But it is a very good event if you're interested in cars that are not fast. Well, there are a couple of fast cars there, but not fast and just weird. I like, for example, the Reliant Robin, the 3-wheeled car that rolled in Top Gear. That one, I saw one of them. There were a bunch of English people there, or British people, judging by the sheer amount of number plates I saw from the UK. There was a Volkswagen XL1, which is Volkswagen's attempt to basically create a car that uses 1 liter of fuel diesel, I think, for 100 kilometers. That is incredibly fuel efficient. It's a hybrid as well. I did see one of those actually. Some other fun cars. But yeah, Jim, I will. If you want to know the color of my car now, you will see eventually.
Right.
And then you'll see if it's still blue or if I decided pink would be a better color.
Surely it's just blue.
I'm not gonna say anything.
That's concerning.
Why would it be?
Because if we ever go somewhere, we'll most likely have your car. Now, I don't usually feel shame.
Are you
But
saying that you would feel ashamed driving in a pink Twingo?
yes, a pink car I could maybe accept, but the fact that it's also a Twingo.
It's just an egg-shaped car. Also, weirdly enough, which I found surprising, had a couple people take pictures of my car. That confused me, because it's not really that special of a car. I mean, it is from the last couple of months of production. But it's a car that's made from like 1993 to 2007. A car from 2007, and mine still doesn't have central locking. I have to lock each door manually. But yeah, the car did drive 500 kilometers in a day, and it still works, so... Reliability. Although I did order new brakes for the front. Because those are going to probably be necessary if I want to drive to France in a month. Having fresh brakes will be nice. Even though these ones still work perfectly fine, I tested it, I think I tested it this week quite well at a roundabout where I thought someone was going to go off the roundabout but stayed on, meaning I had to press my brake quite firmly. But yeah. I did get a nice sunburn on my right arm from Saturday. Yeah, Jim, has any fun stuff happened to you this weekend?
Well, not necessarily in the weekend, but at my job, we seem to finally be kind of sorting out the Romanian situation.
Good progress.
Like the boss, my boss went there and like told them like, hey, buddy, if we say 12 meters, it's 12 meters.
Makes sense.
So, it seems like they finally got the fucking message because they sent me a drawing today that mostly sticks to that. There's still some part, but that was like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's mostly tied to the 12 meters now, so that's fine. In other news, some emails have come up from our great friend
Oh, you mean from the guy that wants to defy the laws of
Yeah,
physics?
yeah. So we have a new, we have someone new working because someone else like left a bit ago, and so we have a new guy, and he was like kind of going through it, and then he found it, right? But I'd never seen this one. It was an email. It was like a full. He actually printed it because as a joke, we printed it out and placed it on another colleague's like desk.
Excellent.
But when he printed it, it was like it was long. It was like more than one A4 paper
With an email?
with no punctuation.
Oh, he did it like I used to write. Just no
And
punctuation, one long sentence.
yes, all about like the whole thing.
Oh
So
boy.
that was lovely to see. For
Yeah,
those who don't know, I'm gonna talk about it again because I think it's very funny. I have a client. Well, I not necessarily me, but our company, I guess. And that we he keeps calling and he's sending emails and shit. That he has this wonderful plan to produce infinite energy by basically like circulating water by like pumping it up and then like taking energy from when it goes down and then pumping it back up. But you don't need to be an expert in anything to know that going up is harder than down, and as such will take more energy than it will produce
yeah.
ever. But this guy claims that he's figured out this system, like he's been thinking it up for 20 years,
Mm.
and that he found the solution to the physics problem. And then when we asked him about the solution, he sent us calculations made by Google AI. So, um, yeah. And then he said, I don't know if I ever told this actually. I think I probably did. I don't know. He sent a drawing at some point of like the concept. He was like, he was like, I have a drawing of the concept if you want to see. We were like, yeah, duh, obviously, show it. The whole drawing was just a triangle with a couple of dimensions on it. That was it.
Mm.
So
So nothing explained.
yeah,
That is concerning.
I'm sure he believes it explained.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I struggle to believe that, Jim. I somehow struggle to believe that.
What, you don't believe that he believes in his own plan?
Well, I might believe in his own plan, I just don't believe in infinite energy. Because if that was a
Yeah,
thing.
no. Well, I do. It's called nuclear fusion.
Yes. And they are working on that. It is. Just this little thing called. If we would have found it, if we would have. Well,
Yeah, like his solution is so simple that we've had this request multiple times. Because on the surface it makes sense.
you pump water back up and then it falls back down.
Well, okay, we never had it with pumping it back up. We
It
just
would
had it with
fall.
like people that were like, yeah, our water is like placed in a circle, you know. But then it's like, yeah, but then there's no... then it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't move. It might look like it moves, but that's the win.
Yeah, it's really an issue with just people not understanding physics. Like, you will always lose some energy.
Yeah.
The way you do that is through friction. Friction causes a loss of energy. You know, that's how brakes work. And the energy is often turned into heat. That's why if you rub
Yes.
the same place over and over again, it gets hot.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm slightly late.
Slightly. We've only been going for 31 minutes.
Yeah, we really need to start considering like firing him because like he's very often late.
Hey, dude. I was on a plane. I don't know what to tell you.
What do you mean you were on the plane? What?
Well, I was flying in a plane. So.
What is that? What? Where?
We require context
The
here.
airport.
Where you been?
I was flying. So I've been, I don't know, Teugen en omgeving.
Oh. Why?
A birthday gift from last year.
Oh.
That's a
That's
really
kinda
good
cool.
birthday gift, I have to say.
Yeah.
You
So
can
how
add that
do
to
we
your
top
list.
that and wrap it up? Sure, we need to start looking into how to wrap up an airplane. Like a fighter jet, you know?
If you buy the fighter jet, I'll buy the wrapping.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know what's more expensive. If you're gonna do the standard wrapping that we've
Yeah.
always done,
Oh,
that's gonna be an expensive amount of wrapping.
yeah, but will it be millions?
Probably
I'm
not.
sure we can find an auction somewhere for the jet.
I mean,
for like 500.
Joe is the auction expert here.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
There's been
the-
airplanes on that auction that he's looked at before.
Yes.
There is a topic that I found today, which is interesting enough. So
Interesting.
I don't know what you guys have discussed yet.
Bullshit mostly, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
some
Scientology. Well, I guess
some-
Scientology is bullshit, but
Some stuff about stop killing games, and how the guy from you know our favorite customer, how we found an email that was like really long with no punctuation. I'd never seen it before. It's an older email, but I'd never seen it before.
I see.
And it came up.
And it talk about what we did Saturday, or where we went.
All right. And have you told him about what color your car is nowadays?
So is it real?
I am neither going to confirm or deny.
That has me very concerned.
Yeah, it's definitely a choice. I'll say that.
Okay, so I hear if we do go to Austria, we are definitely going with my mother's car.
No, that car is horrible to drive.
You really want to drive his car in the mountains?
I rather have be in a pink car than drive that thing for
You want to
2,000
drive his car
kilometers.
in the mountains? Like,
Oh,
Dude,
Jim, don't worry.
Gear
The
1
AC gets
full rev
hot.
the entire time. Especially in Gear 1 full rev the entire time.
Like,
No, the power is a bit of an issue.
well, the power I can work on. Like, that is something I can change.
Not in the extent that the car will survive.
How about starting with looking up what the most limiting factor is and then trying to solve that
The
factor?
engine.
Yeah, but what part of the engine is limiting power the most?
The engine.
Is it the exhaust? Is it
Dude-
the intake? Is it,
Dude, I presume it's gonna be the actual block itself, because I don't think we can turbocharge it.
Turbo Twingo? Also, didn't find a plate on my auction sites, but I did find a dump truck.
Yeah, no, I don't want a dump truck. Don't think I can
No.
fit that in my room.
No, what about a generator?
Don't think I'll need it.
Or an excavator?
Unironically, more useful.
Eh,
We still have to dig out the basement and waterproof it, so
will be interesting.
anyway,
Trust me.
Scientology.
Oh, you mean the
Okay,
speedrunning?
so what has Tom Cruise done today?
Oh no. The Church of Scientology in Amsterdam.
They actually
Oh.
call it a church? I did not know
Yes, apparently they do.
Did they unlock
So,
a new
have
map?
you guys been have you guys been following the speedrunning Scientology stuff that's going around?
that. No.
Run as far as you
Okay.
can get before being kicked out.
So, what I
Yeah.
know about Scientology is that Tom Cruise is into it, and that
Yes.
they call themselves wizards.
Yes.
And that they
I
believe
think.
you can cure cancer by talking to it.
Absolutely.
Sure, that'll work.
Anyway, besides all of those truths that Jim just said, that was believable, right, guys?
Sure.
So, I guess I'll describe the phenomenon since Jim doesn't know. I think this started in New York, I think.
Oh, wait. There's one other thing I know about it. It's a pyramid scheme.
Yes, that as well. So
Yeah.
basically, the premise is we want to know the secrets of what Scientology has to offer. So we're gonna run into the building and see how far we can get.
Yes. That is the entire
That's
premise.
basically that
What?
is basically the premise of speedrunning Scientology.
Okay, as funny as I do think that is, don't do that because I think they can probably arrest you for that.
Well, the thing is, right?
So
Because it's not a public building. I don't think.
They've
okay,
gone so far as to remove door handles and place, like, people basically with their arms chained through each other at the front, because it wasn't just one person doing it
Yeah.
at a time. It were groups of people. They were
Yeah.
literally mapping out
So-
the building.
somebody tried this in Amsterdam, and then a random TikTok account was like, "Let's just do it together. Let's meet at Amsterdam Central, the station, and let's walk over there." Even though it's a 45-minute walk, it was a terrible location. If you think about it. But let's meet there, and then like 2 random TikTokers that I don't know, and Bender were there.
Oh, I see. No, actually,
of
okay.
all-
So, if you don't know who Bender is, which I assume you do,
I don't.
it's this guy.
Oh, he doesn't know who Bender. Okay, we need to
Bender-
change this.
So Bender is he's an adult, but he looks and sounds like a child, and so he usually goes to like protests and that sort of stuff to like interview people, but they'll think they're gonna talk to a child, so they won't take it seriously, and then he asks like actual good critical questions,
I think I've seen some of that, yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh shit." He does more than that, but that's like, to me, that's the most fun thing he does.
Yeah. Although I don't think he can quite pull that off anymore. He does look a lot older nowadays.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Like he still looks like a young dude, right? But he's starting to look like an 18 to 20-year-old ish.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he actually is though.
Me neither.
But recommended channel, by the way. Go follow Bender.
It is in Dutch though.
Yeah, it is completely Dutch, so limited reach.
Yes.
Anyway, so he was streaming the entire like march towards Scientology on Twitch. So the
As
people,
usual.
so the news source that I found this from was like had like a camera shot inside of a bunch of people in the Scientology building, looking very stressed, looking at Bender's Twitch stream.
Well, they probably realized the massive amount of people walking up to them.
Mostly teenagers.
Yeah.
Um,
Walking up.
Unfortunately, somehow, out of absolutely nowhere, the police of Amsterdam had actual funding and put 15 guys in front of the door.
I mean, that is fair.
But why? It would have been
I
so
guess.
funny.
Well, because I'm pretty sure that it is a private building, right? Because you have to pay to get in.
I'm not sure. Well,
But
considering
you need to be part of,
everything
like, the
costs,
course or whatever.
yeah, considering everything costs money with that building, probably, yeah, probably
But-
like 2,000 euro fee
It's like-
just to get
Let me
in.
phrase it differently. It's like a members only building, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is private property, so you're not allowed to. just enter it.
Although not completely, there is like a museum bit that they have going on to introduce you to the ideas of Scientology and why everybody else is wrong. So it's
Right.
sort of
Oh, actually,
a public thing, but I
I will-
presume it's
by
still
the way,
based on tickets.
I have seen images of Scientology, like buildings. I guess they call it a church, where they did have a cross on it. So is it Christian?
I don't know what the deal with the cross is, to be fair.
Because-
It's also not
because-
a complete cross, because they have like the X going through the cross somehow. So, I don't know.
Because I never really, I mean, granted, I know very little about what they actually believe and do.
They
But it
don't.
doesn't come across
actually-
as very Christian to me.
So from from what I've seen for this one news video slash article, whatever you want to call it, they're the spokesperson of Scientology Amsterdam. So it doesn't really matter if you believe in a god; you can also do Scientology. That's what they said. So I'm not really sure what that's
Right. So
what that
it's
deal
like
is.
alchemy, but if it was bullshit and pay to
Ye-
win.
Yes, yes. And every time you get to the max level, there is a new level available. That's kind of how it's been going for Mr. Tom, at least.
And each level is a DLC.
Yes. Absolutely.
So you like, I finished the game. There's another level. Ah, shit, I have to buy that. Well, let me grab my card again.
So
Right.
So-
I also learned that. So you know the like the writer of those books, right? The guy who made it all up.
yeah. I know who it is. I know what he looks like. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name either. All I know is that every single Scientology building must
Isn't his
have an
name
office.
Isn't his Harry Palmer? I think it's Harry Palmer because it sounds like Harry Potter.
I don't know, might be.
And I think Lubach made a joke about that. I think that's
But,
what it is.
They
Wait, no,
have to
actually, no.
have-
He was. No, I'm wrong. Harry Palmer is not the creator of Scientology, but he was like the creator of a certain branch of Scientology.
You wouldn't. But what I do know is that apparently they need an office just in case he gets reincarnated in every
Oh.
single Scientology building.
So it's also Buddhism.
I guess so.
They have the Dalai Lama.
Well, the thing is though, he hasn't. yet. So now there's just like tens, maybe like 100 or so offices around the world that are just empty, dedicated to him, just in case. Which was quite funny to me.
Just in case of
Okay.
what? He pulls a William Afton and comes back?
Yeah, well, so like at least Jesus was quick about it, right? So, like 3 days and done, right? But this is taking a little long.
Oh, so he is already dead. That makes sense. I
Yes.
don't know
Yeah.
how
No.
old Scientology is, but
The original creator has died, and then somebody else followed up. I, the church in Amsterdam has like a message on the wall, like of what the goal of Scientology is, and like within the first sentence, there is like a world without crime. Even though like 2 weeks ago, the leader got another lawsuit. So
well,
you
for
know,
scamming people, probably.
I don't know, but it's also notoriously difficult to get out of. You
Yeah, I
genuinely
know.
have to leave your family. You're financially
As far
dependent
as I
on
know,
them.
it really is like a cult as well.
Apparently, there was a woman that was like stuck on a cruise ship for 11 years.
What?
So
Interesting.
yeah, it's fair warning. Be careful.
Yeah. I mean, a religion shouldn't really cost money to be a part of. Like,
No,
a
I don't know.
proper
Maybe God was capitalist. Maybe, you know.
a proper religion is basically just, well, it should just teach you to not be a dick. That is, in my opinion, the bare
is that
minimum for a
the
religion.
is that the goal of a religion though?
Usually they have something with morals, right? Like to go to
Yes, but
heaven or the equivalent.
I don't think that is of course a byproduct of it, a very important one, but I don't know if it's the goal per se.
Well, no, the goal is to reach heaven, and the method is be a good person.
Yeah,
Yes.
unless you're from Islam, but I don't think we'll go into that.
I don't completely know how you get to heaven in Islam.
Well, apparently, if you bomb yourself and take out as many people as possible, then
Well, yeah, but I don't know if that's actually in the book or if that's just their own sort of
so I'm not a
what do you call
specialist.
that? What's the word for that? Their own.
You
I
mean
don't
like
know.
jihadists, maybe? Is that what you mean?
No, I mean like how they believe it, but like
Like what that belief is called?
yeah, well, I don't know.
Right. Well, the from what
Moving
I
on.
know, there is quite some passage in the Quran that's like, yeah, no, you should kill the unbelievers or the people who left and stuff like that. So it's definitely not um very peaceful if you read into it, but
Well, at that point, I would like to point out the Old Testament is not very peaceful either.
yes, no, but that's at least
I
in
guess
the
the Quran
context of
also has the
history.
Old Testament. Think. Pretty sure.
Yes, I think so. Yes, but that's usually in the context of history, not
Yeah.
in the context of go kill people now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right.
But again, I'm not an expert and
Also,
mildly biased, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
isn't it so that if you, with Islam, that if you do such a thing, you end up with like 72 virgins once you reach?
That's their
And
like
that as well.
heaven thing.
Yeah, the problem is, which I find hilarious, is I think they are also quite homophobic. Yet they didn't. I don't think they've specified at any time the gender of those virgins or how they looked. So you could just get 72 neckbeards.
Well, yeah, that's like a joke fucking Jeff Dunham made with like Aquaman, right? Where he's like, "Am I in heaven? Where are my virgins? Surely it's not these people." And he like looks at the audience.
Yeah, but that's still
There's a
funny.
bunch of dudes in there.
Like they never
I don't know,
specify.
they could be like femboys, so you know, you never know.
I mean, whatever floats your boat.
That ship definitely ain't floating. That's a ship going downwards.
Is the ship sunk?
Yes, very much so.
Ah. Good to know.
Right, was there?
Anyway.
I mean, I guess the virus people came to shore on the cruise ship.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
The
What
virus
is it?
that is, even though
You
it is
only get
bad.
from sniffing rat shit.
Yeah, don't
Hantavirus. That was
don't
it.
do it. Don't go sniff the rat
Exactly.
shit. Don't do it. Let's see.
That's a negative on Hanta. But okay, so this is always confusing to me. Is negative now negative or negative positive? Because
If you test negative, you don't have it.
so that's positive.
Yes.
It's not confusing at all.
With a disease, negative is positive and positive is negative. And depending on what kind of disease it is
Unless
really,
it's both
really...
negative and positive, then it's just negative.
Yeah, but if it's a bad disease, then it's really, really negative if it's positive.
I guess
Making
so.
sense yet?
No.
Good. Yeah. But like the virus is, I think, quite deadly, but it doesn't really... Well, it only transmits to like either through rats or prolonged like...
Our prime minister is in hospital. That's something.
Yeah,
What happened?
Nothing too
he got
extreme, it seems.
stung by something while swimming, and had to go...
He had an allergic reaction.
Me what?
Yeah.
He's in Bonaire right now.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
So he was swimming and got stung by something and had to go to the hospital for it, but he seems to be completely fine otherwise.
Okay. He didn't get
On zeeegel.
Oh.
Which in English is
A sea urchin.
Sea urchin, yeah.
sea urchin? I guess so. Oh yeah, there was a massive, massive. There was a chain collision in Deventer today. That's lovely.
And then half of that, the entire province
I did
got
hear
stuck
about that. Yeah.
because there's like 5 people living in that area, and it's all of them
In
were in that
Deventer.
accident. I mean,
Deventer is a really big city. I think it's larger than Alkmaar.
That might be true, however. We have quite a bit more infrastructure around here for,
105,130 inhabitants.
Yeah, alright, that's quite big.
31 largest gemeente? What is that in English?
Google Translate, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think that has a direct translation.
County.
County, yeah, I guess so.
It's not Conti, but
Now let's go to Alkmaar, since Jules laughing at them. And that's 111,766. So that's 20,000 less, Jules.
I mean, the
Do
transfers
you have
to
any? Do you
local
have anything
authority.
to say to yourself?
Yeah, this place sometimes just sucks. But then again, so do a
Well,
lot of other
the
places.
when I heard this, my father told it to me. We were driving in a car towards the airport over that exact road. So thanks.
So while driving on the road, your dad was like, a really big chain collision happened.
I heard it was like 7 cars.
How do you?
No, 17.
Oh, 17.
How do
17,
you do
3
that?
injured. 3 people, so that's
By not paying attention.
If you really have to
You'll-
not be
you-
paying attention.
you say, how do you do that? You know how close you are driving to cars in front of you on the highway. It's kind of ridiculous.
You mean when changing lanes?
Yes.
Well, the
Or-
thing is, I have
Or when
figured out.
traffic is not the one consistent speed, and you're like, this should be one consistent speed, so you just keep closing in on people.
Yeah, then having to brake, so then
That's-
the distance
That's
opens.
illegal.
Then the distance opens up again because I slow down because the traffic's slowing down. Then traffic speeds up again.
Yeah,
So then I speed up again, but I have to slow down again. Then speed because people don't want to drive
yeah.
a consistent
Or you
speed.
could just do a slightly slower speed.
That would probably be the better option. Yes, and a point to work on with my driving.
Instead of complaining of the people in front of you.
I was still
Send him
complaining.
back to driving school.
Please
No,
don't. My wallet won't be able to
we-
take it.
Not only that, first he has to go to a non-complaint course. I think that's fair.
Yes.
And the question would
Yes,
also
like
be,
like a rage control.
Yes.
kinda need my car for work, so are you going to not only make me spend a bunch of money, but also cripple my income?
I mean, that, it's really your responsibility to not
Yeah.
be in that situation to begin
Fair,
with.
Exactly.
fair point. Fair point. That's why I said it is a good point to work on with my driving, and I will try to work on it by reminding
If
myself.
only those people in front of me were gonna.
I mean, the thing is, I've learned.
I would have gotten away with it if those meddling granddads didn't.
I would have gone away with it if this asshole actually drove a consistent speed. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna. Like, the rule that I've learned, especially on the highway, is 2 seconds worth of distance. I need to remind myself
That-
to
2
actually.
seconds worth of distance is the estimated braking time.
Yes, so that's why you should
Please
take a
take in
minimum.
account your reaction time.
Which is take a minimum of 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you can that is, if somebody just suddenly
Oh.
decides to randomly slam on the brakes
Jim.
without any
Yeah.
previous.
I have a gift ideas slash project for Jules. We're gonna make a LiDAR detector that's just gonna warn him if he's in between those 2 seconds.
Yes, but what if I'm
Pretty
parking?
sure modern cars probably already have that.
Yes, they
He has
do.
a Twingo.
Modern
He doesn't
cars.
have a modern car yet.
I know he doesn't. We'll turn his Twingo into a modern car.
Please don't. Like, I've driven.
Hey, you were the one obsessing over the newer
Hey,
Twingo.
We'll switch his pink Twingo to a purple modern version.
Exactly.
The thing is, last week I've driven with a couple of colleagues, a couple times to the actual location instead of working in the office. And sometimes that car just just starts giving warnings like, especially like, for example, look at the road, which is a valid thing to say. But it's also just sometimes does thinking like that's just too much. Like all of a sudden saying, keep your distance, when in reality the distance is big enough. Modern cars, they do have more comfort. I'll have to admit, they do have more comfort than a Twingo that's almost 20 years old. That's to be expected. And heated seats are still a really good addition, which is the Kia's only positive thing. It actually does have heated seats in the front.
It's not the Kia's only thing. It's spacious, kind of.
It does have more space than the Twingo, but that makes sense because it's bigger.
Yes.
Jim?
Yeah?
I think you're wrong.
What?
Bender is born in 2008. He just is a kid.
2008.
That means he's either just turned 18 or still
what the fuck?
has to become 18.
Wait, according to my dad, he was an adult.
Nope. He just became one.
He does ask the adult questions, though.
Yeah. Why is the Google search term, is Bender Fiat out?
I don't know.
Hoewel Benders lichaam in 2996 is gemaakt, waardoor hij 4 jaar oud is. Wat is dit?
There's Bender lore?
Of course. It's from Futurama. Like the robot Bender.
Oh. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, do we have more dumb news?
Dumb news on it.
Or other news that is just... apparently the US also has increasing fuel prices. Big surprise.
Yeah.
Wait, seriously?
Did point out something about that actually here in the Netherlands. Everyone complains about the higher fuel prices, and yet we still literally all go by car. Like the traffic has not dropped.
Well, Jim, I can explain why partially. Some of us...
If you say it's because people are necessary, no. There's so much traffic is not necessary.
Not everybody has to go by car. But
no,
some of us
in fact,
do.
Most people don't.
Like in my example, either I drive half an hour or I spend an hour take over an hour by train, which, also means that I have to time when I leave. Because if I mistime that, I'm going to be spending half an hour at the train station waiting for the next one to arrive.
Yes, but I'm not talking about that. Most people don't need to leave their house at all for their job.
For me, it depends, though.
And even then, a lot of people totally could just go by fucking bike, and people are just lazy.
You know what could also really help with traffic?
I think better,
parents taking their kids to school on a bike.
Yes.
Because I have a colleague that lives near school, and while we were walking to talk about it, that there were half of the Dutch children go to school assisted.
Oh.
They don't take their bike. They get they're either in a cargo bike or they go by car. So don't really move their legs all that much to get to school. Instead of, first you bike or you walk with a parent because you're not old enough to do that, and once you're old enough to do that, you just bike yourself. Or walk, if it's close enough. But because society wants more and more surveillance of kids, parents are supposed to keep an eye on their children 24/7, as opposed to 10, 20 years ago, where
per se, just everybody, but yes.
Yeah. Like for the adults is more data collection for companies so they can sell that data. For children, it's partially that, but then letting the parents pay for it. For example, apps like the apps like Life 360 that I use with a bunch of friends, so you could occasionally be like, "Oh wait, you're also at the same train station as I am right now. Let's go say hello real quick," and do that. But for a children to be like, "Where is my child now? I need to know at all times, and if they're going somewhere I don't like, I'm going to complain about that and punish them for it."
Yeah, but that's more a problem with the parents, not with.
It is. That is true. But it is also just basically society that expects people to keep an eye on parents to keep an eye on their child 24/7.
Society does not expect that. Okay?
No, it doesn't.
No, it's more just a couple of
to a
very
certain age, yes.
Like at some point in my life,
But if you're talking about 9-year-olds, yeah, fair enough. But
yeah, they do need to be.
teenager?
I would not track a 9-year-old's phone. In fact, I wouldn't even give my 9-year-old a phone.
Fair, but
yeah, like I actually had some trouble when I was growing up with, I was playing outside with friends, and I had to be home by 5.
Ooh.
However, I did not have any means to tell the time.
Yeah, go up to people. He was in the middle of Alkmaar where there's only 2 churches. There was no way he could tell the time, Jim.
Well, what if I told you that the buildings can be obstructed by other buildings?
Yeah, but that's why the church buildings are tall. That's why the church buildings are tall, so you can see them.
Just move to the end of the street.
You think when you're having fun playing with friends, you're gonna think, I wonder what time it is right now.
Yes.
I may have to go home.
Yes.
Yes.
You usually think that when you're done playing, and by that point it's already way too late.
Jim, what I'm noticing, this went from, I couldn't tell the time, to now I didn't bother to tell the time.
Yeah.
Well,
very quickly.
At that point in time,
Which means point proven.
Being a kid,
Yes.
I didn't really think about, looking at the church to tell the time, because you couldn't see the church from the entire park where we were playing at. We were playing in the... It was, or at least it would have been, you'd have to stand in one particular spot. Potentially, you might have been able to see the church. And even then, you still have to make out all the, you have to still see what the time is. If you just see the clock very far in the distance, good luck telling the time.
Your Honor, I would argue
like
that was
these days
a section of intent there, not a section of ability.
These days, I wear a watch every day, so I can always tell the time. But back then, I didn't. So
8-year-old you didn't wear a watch yet?
No.
That seems unlikely.
Surprisingly enough. But it was just like, even then, I didn't even have a phone at that point. I was just playing, and we were playing in a park, so if they needed to find us, they'd just walk through the park, call out my name, and just, I was like, oh wait, I'm being called.
Yes. In terms of actually continuing with some news, because this has just become Jules' childhood somehow.
Childhood and trauma included.
No, you
No,
didn't go there
mostly
yet.
just
We don't.
incompetence for not looking at the fucking time.
Yes. Or just asking somebody who's walking by, Hello, miss, what's the time right now?"
Yeah. I can feel like we can't expect that from Jules, the guy who didn't call for an internship even after being rejected like 20 times per email.
Yeah.
Or delaying calling for months to get a job.
Yeah.
Well, the first couple of months were actually necessary for me to
Anyway, we're digressing again.
Yes.
catch up.
A woman avoided disaster when she took her electric wheelchair out to her driveway in Florida, where it exploded after emitting clicking sounds.
Batteries.
Great.
Why is this so loud?
Also, on other weird news, apparently some amateur football, right? With the one with the round ball, the correct football. They had
This
to
seems like a problem.
they had to continue a game because apparently it got, apparently they made a mistake. They rounded a minute wrong, and they still have to play a whopping 42 seconds of a match.
Yeah. So,
Imagine having to play soccer for 42 seconds.
Be careful with electric wheelchairs, apparently.
It's the same thing with electric scooters that we had over here, or with the what were those called again? Those boards with the two wheels on the side.
Speaking of which, Amsterdam has new laws.
Yeah, they're going. Wait, has that already gone in?
Wait.
Have they actively
in one particular park? Yes.
Vondelpark, the one of the most well-known ones, where they've banned fat bikes.
No. They banned bikes with tires with over 7 centimeters.
So mountain bikes are illegal as well?
No. No.
The
The main problem is, do you see cops running around with calipers after fat bike going 25 kilometers an hour?
Hold on, stand still. I have to put my calipers on your tire to measure its width.
Also, it's only a matter of switching out the tires for slimmer ones, even though it has the torque for higher ones, so therefore they'll go faster again.
60, well, with less grip, so they're more likely to eat shit.
Which makes them more dangerous, arguably, but...
Which hopefully gives them a worse image, and less people will buy it, because if they're seen as death traps, parents might pull their head out of their ass and actually think, hold on, no, you won't get one.
If they would have done that, they would have done that a long time ago already, Jules.
Fair enough. That's one of the reasons why I'm not becoming a parent at some point in the future. I don't want to deal with all that bullshit.
But don't you need to continue the Bush legacy?
Yes.
The legacy.
Yeah.
Who's gonna inherit the channel otherwise, Jules?
I don't know. Probably just gonna retire it at that point.
Yeah, but how will the world move on?
Easily, probably.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. But that's the case for anyone, really.
I'm not gonna make it too difficult for everyone and just say that people will probably easily move on from me. I'm not going to fool anybody.
Oops. I just bought way more scrap iron than I'll ever need. On
Apparently,
accident.
the European Commission wants to make it a whole lot simpler to buy international train tickets. Because a couple websites make it pretty easily, but I've heard a couple of people complain about, like, if you want to go to Paris or London with Eurostar, their their thing is quite obvious. Like, you simply put in when you want to go to the place, where you want to come back, from which station to which station, and then it gives you like a bunch of times. You choose the time, the price is right there, and then you do the same to your return trip, and boom, done. But I'm not sure how it is with other countries and international train tickets. And especially with the introduction of the Eurocity trains and Go Volta, which run to Belgium and Germany respectively, which are basically the cheaper alternatives, which I find good, because that means we're gonna potentially see a switch from cheap plane tickets, which with these higher fuel prices, that's also hitting the planes. Or like, I mean, Spirit Airlines is already gone. So
Why is it always Spirit Airlines in those like Karen versus Cobbs videos if it's on the airport?
because Spirit is cheap, and cheap prices attract cheap people, which
I
expect
see.
everything. Like with high
I
prices, they often, if you pay a high price, they actually have the service. But people that buy the cheap tickets often sometimes expect the same service as the expensive ones. And when they don't get it, they will absolutely flip. But Spirit Airlines went bankrupt because guess what? It was
Oh,
getting too expensive.
okay. Well,
So that's sad. That's a sad day for people that want to fly cheap.
for us Karens versus Cobbs enjoyers.
Yeah, it is sometimes really entertaining to see, especially if there are consequences. Then it becomes entertaining.
Oh, actually, I do have some news. I just realized I have some leak news. Apparently, there's been a leak that from apparently a pretty reliable like leaker for Capcom. Apparently he's had like a lot of stuff right surrounding mostly Resident Evil, I think. Um, seems like there's a Devil May Cry 1 remake in the works,
Nice.
which is something that was already somewhat expected. Simultaneously, I don't know how you would remake DMC1 because the series has evolved a lot. So do you stay true to the original, or do you make it, like have it be the story of the first one, but have the gameplay be like an expansion of the fifth? Because I feel like both would feel kind of weird. But we'll see, I guess. And apparently there's been some From Software leaks that I assume are not real because they make no sense to me. For a full remake of the Dark Souls trilogy.
Hmm.
Which, the reason I feel that that's weird, there's already a remake of Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 3 is modern enough and doesn't need a remake. So what's the point? You know?
Money.
Guess. I haven't really looked much into that one though, so I don't know. I don't really know much about that one.
In such a case, the answer will pretty much always just be money.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if From Software themselves would be remaking them because I feel like From Software really doesn't need to, you know.
Also, want to hear some fun? Want to hear a funny thing? I watched a video yesterday about the Russian Victory Day parade that happened this year again, and I've been following it for the last couple of years because it's kind of cool to see tanks driving around. But last year it was already not the vehicles were getting scarce, and this time there were no military vehicles. Not even the ceremonial T-34.
Oh,
You
for
know,
the Russians.
yes.
Yeah.
There were the only vehicles you saw were one ATV, at the during one of the propaganda videos that they showed, and the cars with important people standing in it, where one person looked like he was absolutely going to shit himself because you do stick out like a sore thumb from a car while you're standing in it. It's a car without a roof, so you can't actually stand, but that means you're pretty much everything above your crotch is fully exposed. But it was just pathetic. They only, it was just small, really small compared to a couple years ago. It does show something. It does show how the war is going for Russia. I mean, of course, Russia isn't the only one that's struggling. Ukraine is also very much struggling to, keep everything together. But this is not a good look for Russia, I have to say. When you show no vehicles at all. Because that means that almost all of them are in use. Or destroyed already. And they use CGI.
What?
They had a CGI Kremlin at some point. They showed like, a couple of planes flying over, which were pretty old ones. Let's see if I can get the model. Like, they showed like a bunch of modern planes, CGI of course, and then when it switched to the actual planes flying over, it was the Sukhoi Su-25, also known as the Frogfoot, and it has maiden flight on the 22nd of February 1975. It has been manufactured since 1978 up to 2017. It is incredibly outdated at this point. And it's just... yeah. The fact that they're using that instead of newer aircraft to fly around as a parade plane means that they probably don't have anything better. Or they don't want to risk it. But yeah, it does show. It does show and becomes somewhat funny to me. With how that actually works. It's just that bad. But anyway. Does anybody have any other thing they want to talk about?
No, not particularly.
Then I do have one thing that I want to talk about. We're not experts.
But we were here.